What's up with it? You watching the Big Brother TV? And yeah, we about to check out this clip from the YouTube channel Pop Cult. And the title is Yungeen Ace Exposed by Killer's iPhone recordings and Julio's death. Man, I ain't gonna lie, I ain't heard nothing from this situation in a minute, you know what I'm saying? I don't even know what they talking about in this video, you know what I'm saying? But shit, let's check it out and see what they talking about, you feel me?
Yeah. What you think about Foolio? Hey, screaming rest in peace to him, screaming him.
Jacksonville has a really big movement.
I ain't gonna cap. We lit right now. Sometimes I be thinking like, damn, what if all us was like one? Like together, you know what I'm saying? We will be powerful. Like nobody will be able to stop us. But
Yeah, I mean, you know, you guys could, you know, do a big show.
Who you
just
telling?
Jacksonville.
Definitely.
You know? You think you know, you guys will ever get to a point where it'll just be like, you know what I'm saying? You guys just aren't, you know, kind of going at it anymore.
Yeah, it might happen sooner or later. Like you never know with God. It's by God's timing. Like, yeah. It could happen.
So the rap game has.
I ain't gonna lie, he saying it can happen, but word is he was dissing niggas he didn't even know and shit. Yungeen Ace say he ain't even know that nigga for real. Like he really ain't know that nigga when he started dissing him. So yeah, then it's like a lot of other rappers they say he was dissing that didn't know that nigga. Like, you know, the FBG Duck now. So he was just dissing niggas he ain't even know.
Has been going wild with some serious beefs heating up, and things have gotten way out of hand. One of the saddest stories is the death of rising Florida rapper Foolio, aka Charles Jones. His career was just starting to take off when he was taken out in what cops are calling a planned hit, with a group of people making sure he wouldn't rap again. And in this video, we're looking into the shocking details that came out during the investigation into Foolio's some incriminating iPhone recordings that link another Jacksonville rapper, Yungeen Ace, to the whole situation. These recordings have not only given investigators some serious leads, but have also got the rap community buzzing, raising questions about Ace's involvement in this tragic story. Stick with us as we connect the dots between these recordings and the brutal of Foolio and explore what this all means for the rap scene in Jacksonville.
Foolio said, where you at? That's the one, man. That's my dog. I just talked that boy on FaceTime. That wasn't the one, man.
Now, Foolio's murder was a really tough moment for the Jacksonville rap scene. Backstage, he was known as Charles Jones, and he was shot in a brutal attack that cops quickly labeled as premeditated murder. This all went down in the early hours of June 23rd while Foolio was in Tampa celebrating his birthday, totally unaware that a group was following him with bad intentions. The night started off pretty chill with Foolio hanging out with friends, but things took a dark turn when he caught the eye of his pursuers. Around 4:15 a.m., he was heading to a hotel on McKinley Drive, not knowing that his every move was being watched. Instead of just following him into the parking lot, the attackers waited across the street, biding their time. Then, at about 4:38 a.m., they struck. 3 shooters jumped out of their car and headed toward the hotel, armed with a Glock and 2 AR-style rifles. They opened fire on Foolio's car, killing him and injuring 3 others. The whole thing was so quick and brutal that it was clear this was planned out. The suspects were later identified as Isaiah Chance, Alicia Andrews, Shaw Gathright, and Rashad Murphy, with Davon Murphy still on the run. Chance and Andrews were seen following Foolio, and Chance was even calling Gathright, who was in another car. License plate readers confirmed that both their cars traveled from Jacksonville to Tampa that night and left the next day. After the police ramped up their investigation to figure out what happened. They relied heavily on surveillance footage and phone records that tracked the suspects' movements and communications. The footage showed Chance using Andrew's phone and staying in touch with Gathright all night. This evidence painted a clear picture of how they planned and carried out the attack.
I ain't gonna lie, for them to find all those recordings of the cars and shit, they was really trying to solve this motherfucker, because usually, man, they have all of the same evidence, but then don't even go find that shit, like in a lot of cases, you feel me? So like Foolio having a name probably put a lit a fire under the police to figure out what the hell did happen and shit. So they kind of like working a little harder and shit, but really though, man, the police don't be doing all that shit.
Surveillance cameras also caught them following Foolio around before the tragic incident. On June 26, things took a turn when police pulled over Gathright. They found a Glock 9mm pistol, a .223 rifle, live rounds, and spent casings in his car. While the pistol didn't match the scene, the rifle casings were linked to other shootings, including a homicide in May and a previous attempt on Foolio's life in October 2023. The investigation kept digging deeper and they found even more evidence. When they searched Gathright's home, they discovered a gun safe with multiple rifles, one even had a brass catcher. Spent 9mm shell casings found in the safe matched those from the scene, connecting the suspects to the crime. To top it off, iPhone recordings came to light during the investigation. These recordings showed just how coordinated and planned the suspects were, giving insight into their conversations and movements. They backed up the surveillance footage and phone records, adding even more weight to the case against them.
What's the word?
What's going on with you, man?
Like be lifing, man. Just sipping on my drinks. It get me right now. Just got me right now.
Well, first of all, we had a special request. You had Don Julio Reposado. It's a drinking preference?
Yeah.
Wow.
Every time I go somewhere, I be with this.
Now, the beef between Yungeen Ace and Julio Foolio is one of the hottest topics in the rap game right now, and it's got a lot of people talking. This rivalry, which started with their crews ATK and KTA, has been going on for years and has even turned violent at times. It all kicked off back when both rappers were just starting out in Jacksonville's hip-hop scene. They were super loyal to their crews, and as they got more popular, so did the tension between them. They started dropping diss tracks like it was a competition, with songs like Yungeen Ace's Step Harder and Julio Foolio When I See You remix really heating things up. These tracks were packed with shots at each other and their crews, showing off their skills while also making it clear they weren't fans of each other. Social media really took their feud to the next level. What could have been just music beef turned into a full-on online war, with both rappers using Instagram and Twitter to throw shade and make threats. Their fans got caught up in the drama too, picking sides and adding fuel to the fire. This public back and forth made the whole situation even more intense and raised some eyebrows with law enforcement. Even with all the drama, both rappers kept climbing the charts. Their music, filled with real emotions and experiences, struck.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, the sad thing about this, like if they didn't have that bullshit going on, they probably wouldn't have been as successful as they are or was, you know what I'm saying? Because like that's what the fans wanted, you know what I'm saying? They basically gave the fans what they wanted, you feel me? But shit, that should be getting dangerous, entertaining for the fans, but really these niggas was putting their life on the line for this shit.
Struck a chord with fans. But as the violence in Jacksonville started to rise, the line between their music and real life got pretty blurry. The streets turned into a battleground with reports of shootings and fights adding a dark twist to their rivalry. Things got even more serious with the murder of Julio Foolio. Given their history, the cops quickly looked into whether Yungeen Ace had any involvement or at least knew something about what went down. They started keeping a close eye on Ace's activities in Jacksonville as part of their investigation. The police are taking this feud seriously. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office has been vocal about wanting to tackle gang violence and keep the community safe. After Foolio's murder, they ramped up their efforts to not only solve the case but also prevent more violence from happening. In press conferences, police have stressed how serious the situation is. They have talked about needing cooperation from everyone and have been upfront about the challenges of breaking down these long-standing rivalries. While they haven't named Yungeen Ace as a suspect, they are definitely looking into everything, tracking movements, analyzing messages, and piecing together clues from social media.
I ain't gonna lie, like personally, I thought Yungeen Ace didn't have nothing to do with all that stuff because he started dissing, so he would have put like a target on himself, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it seemed like a lot of YouTube channels and videos be like clout chasing and saying like a Rico coming, but like it really probably not even the case, you know what I'm saying? So he really probably didn't have shit to do with it for real though.
Even though detectives believe that Yungeen Ace's ATK had something to do with Foolio's murder, Yungeen Ace is not under investigation.
So Yungeen Ace has long been known in Jacksonville. We are consistently monitoring those groups. We have people that are always watching them. I won't speak to the chief's investigation. That's up to TPD. We don't have an investigation on him right now, but he can't move around in Jacksonville without us knowing about it.
For Yungeen Ace, this
Man, that's a fool with it. So that really mean these YouTube channels and shit been like clout chasing and shit, you know what I'm saying? And spreading fake information and shit. So it's looking like Yungeen Ace really ain't even under investigation. You feel me? So, man, the internet a fool with it.
This is a big deal. Even if he's not directly tied to Foolio's murder, the scrutiny he's under and the possibility of facing charges for other stuff could really mess with his career and freedom. He's at a turning point where his next moves could either help calm things down or make them worse. The murder of Julio Foolio has stirred up a ton of reactions from both the public, with people sharing all kinds of opinions and concerns. As more details came out, like the involvement of several suspects and the link to Yungeen Ace, the story really grabbed attention and sparked strong feelings from different sides. The New York Times mentioned that the arrest of key suspects in the Julio Foolio case has intensified scrutiny on the broader gang dynamics in Jacksonville, bringing to light the ongoing that plagues the city. Local news has been all over it too. Jacksonville's Channel 4 pointed out the connection between Yungeen Ace and the Julio Foolio murder has been a point of controversy. Many are questioning the extent of Ace's involvement and whether his ongoing rivalry with Foolio played a role in the violence. People's opinion is pretty split. Some folks feel bad for Julio Foolio and are frustrated with the ongoing violence. They think the feud and the release of diss tracks just keep the cycle of violence going. A person tweeted saying, "It's tragic that this feud has escalated to murder. These artists need to realize the impact their words have on their communities." There's also a big debate about whether the feud should continue now that Foolio is gone. Critics say that continuing to taunt and provoke after someone's death is crossing a line and just fuels more violence. Others think that rivalries are just part of rap culture and artists should be able to express themselves through their music without facing backlash. One user comments, "The diss tracks and social media posts are part of the industry's nature, but there's a point where it's too much. Using someone's death for clout is crossing a serious line." Meanwhile, some users argue that the ongoing feud and provocative lyrics are just part of the rap scene and are to be expected given the context. But do you guys believe Yungeen Ace had a hand in setting up Julio Foolio's murder, or do you think he's being wrongly accused? What are your thoughts on keeping a public feud going after someone has died? Drop your opinions in the comments and let us know what you think about the case so far. Keep an eye out for more updates and don't forget to subscribe and hit that.
Yeah, man, I ain't gonna lie, man. I really don't think he had shit to do with it, you feel me? For the simple fact, he would have been incriminating himself for dissing, you feel me? And I don't think that nigga that stupid, you feel me? So, hell no, I don't think he really had like shit to do with it, really. But I think Julio down there had it coming though, man. Cause like I said, he was dissing people that he didn't even know and shit. Then even Yungeen Ace said he ain't even know the nigga when he started dissing him. You know what I'm saying? So like, that nigga was like really, he probably was one of the first clout chasers with the dissing the dead and shit. Dissing people he ain't even had nothing to do with dying and shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he put a target on himself, I ain't gonna lie. And I think the diss culture and rap probably fueled that shit, you know what I'm saying? Cause niggas be doing numbers just for dissing and shit. You know, the Chicago niggas kind of started that shit, you know what I'm saying? But shit, man, it kind of seemed like the clout chasing shit that backfired and shit. I ain't saying like Foolio probably went down to do whatever they had to do, or probably had their team, you know, to do whatever. But to think about it though, whatever they was down for, you know, that shit still was like some unnecessary shit, especially like dissing motherfuckers you ain't even know. So really, yeah, I think they need to just kill this shit, leave this shit alone. You know, a nigga was like on some bullshit, dissing niggas dead that he ain't even know and shit. So I don't know, you know what I'm saying? You really can't stand on bullshit, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, but let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe to the Big Mama TV. Till next time, peace.